Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a tactics talk, and I got a kind of interesting little chess match right here on mines in an all tier 10 battle. All tier 10 battle. So this is definitely a phone booth kind of fight. I think I'm going to go ahead with the... Yeah, I think I stick with my vision setup here. Now it's a short map, and maybe the firepower setup might be better here, but there's also some important bushes and sniping positions that late game might need a little more burn through to try to find guys. So it's kind of a toss-up on this one. Maybe with the heavy, I think I would probably obviously go with the firepower thing, but with the medium, I'm thinking I might have to flex late game if I survive there to doing some more of the spotting. And this really becomes a bit of a chess match. So here's the question on mines. To hill or not to hill? That is the question. I honestly go back and forth. To some extent, it depends. But I kind of like this move a little better, especially from the south spawn. The north spawn analog to this is not as good because the shot isn't nearly as good. You get blocked quite a bit, but this little bush here and this little spot, you can really get some nice shots here. So we're waiting for somebody to try to make that push, and it looks like at least initially, people sort of stuff them. And the STB just drives up and absolutely eats it. At least he didn't, well, he did almost die. I was going to say, at least he didn't die. So no customers. And then I notice, obviously, the PZW is getting around behind us. So let's go ahead and analyze what we got here so far. We did get the hill with a tank or two. Looks like 3. We have some heavies contesting the ramp, so they're not going to just drive up and start shooting down the ramp. We know that there's a couple big TDs sitting at the back on the A row back there, but we also know that the RHM has got by our Leopard, and we really didn't push much over to the other side. Plus, there's a Rinoceronte over there. The 2 Mals are driving up, and we got a couple TDs in the back and an Arty. So fairly standard. Also, some heavies pushing around over on the east side. We really need to get rid of this RHM. He's a problem. The Leopard does have him lit, and he is kind of harrying the guy a little bit. And now I'm going to try to help this Leopard. I do have to be careful about being seen in case they push down here, or even shots from over here, which could potentially hit me. So I've got to watch that rock. Be careful about them seeing me. And obviously the artillery is a concern as well with the 155, 58. We lose our 261. Their Leopard kills it. Unreal. I actually don't know how that happened, to be honest with you. I'd have to go back and look at it. Somehow, well, I guess maybe he was sitting on the cap and didn't move. I didn't pay attention, so we're down already. We'll go ahead and shoot this guy once. That's good, and I'm really hoping the Leopard can finish this guy off. He backs out. I'm watching both ways. The problem with positions like this that have several avenues of fire on you is keeping track of where everybody is and making sure you're not just driving out in front of everybody to shoot. I'm really hoping our Leopard can get him, but the problem is he's kind of trapped. He can't really push up and over and go after the PZW. If we can clear him out, that's kind of the biggest issue right now in this chess match on mines in a tier 10 battle. Is this guy's a problem, and I just whiffed that one. I do get lit. I'm checking that way to see if anybody's coming up and over. Our guys, okay, so that was an important look. When I looked back, I realized that we had kind of won the second push up the hill, and we pushed these guys back around the corner. So we have a lot of guys up the hill now. We're contesting over on the east side. And then I noticed this Rinoceronte pushing. He's going to go try to help the scout. So he's got a relatively slow turret, and unfortunately, I do not get a pen. It bounces off some good armor. And now it's getting really dicey. This is a problem over here. So we have to deal with this. This is how you lose this map. And all of a sudden, it's looking really bad for us, to be quite honest. We're down 4 tanks. Yeah, we're okay in that we don't have guys sitting right here that can be farmed from behind by these two. That's a good thing. So we did get the hill, although the Mouse is in a little bit of trouble right there. And we're doing okay in the other spots, but we are down 5 tanks already, and they have a significant amount of the map. So this is just not great. So I'm going to try to pop this dude. Doesn't matter, he's dead. All right, that's good. That's number 1 problem. Now the Rinoceronte is a problem. I just got missed by a shot there. Let's see if we can find this dude. Is he peeking? He's not, and I'm really at this point just going, okay, not really sure what to do with this situation. Mouse is getting absolutely hammered. Notice last time I turned around, he was nearly full hit points. And this is becoming an untenable spot here in a moment. So Mouse is fighting. They've still got some guys on the ramp right there. That's a problem. And we're just trying to find this Rhinoceronte. It's like, all right, where did this guy go? Don't know. Badger back there is a good thing. He can maybe put some hurting on him, but they do have that FV4005 and the Leopard over there. Now we get the Leopard pushing in, so things are going from bad to worse. Put a couple hits on him. There we go. Bring him down to 474, so that's okay. But now there's 2 of them over there, plus the 4005. So any kind of movement, say I even wanted to go over there and try to take these guys on, more than likely any kind of movement across this flat right here is going to be seen, and now I give a shot to this 4005 if he's in any kind of position right there. So holding what I've got for the moment, and maybe those guys in over there will make a mistake. The Badger has them more or less pinned down, and they're afraid to move. Until they're not. The Leopard goes. Check that way. I see him on the move. He should be out in the open. We'll see if we can kill him off here. Take a nicely aimed shot, and we get him. All right, great. That's one problem, right? Chess match. Take each little piece as you can. I see the EBR raging around. I noticed him moving that way, so I decided to head off this way. And see if I can't take the hill. Yeah, that's a bummer. The 780's right there. He shoots and backs out. I'm just going to go. He's coming at me. Not really sure why I turned there, to be quite honest. I think because I was worried I was going to be seen, and then I didn't want the Rhinoceronte to have shots up on me right there. So we'll move around this way. We'll use this spot and see if we can't catch. So the idea now is, all right, I can't really cross. I'm still, again, worried about the 4005. I can't really cross there. I don't want to go sit where the Badger is. This spot by this rock is not great right now based on where the rest of their team is. So what I'm kind of hoping is that Rhinoceronte tries to push. And if he tries to push between me and the Badger, we might be able to take that guy out. I'm also sort of watching the 780. We have made a bit of a comeback. Now there's the freaking EBR raging around. All right, so looking off the side, gun depression not as good. I got the hydraulic thing going on with this tank, so I'm really fighting a little bit of unfamiliarity. There we go. I needed to be pointing at him the whole time. So just aim nicely with this guy, put a shot on him. That's unfortunate because really in that amount of time I should have got 2 shots off. And he's going to get around that rock right before I reload. So what's the situation now? Well, we've made a bit of a comeback. It's 6-6. The guys are coming. This is really interesting actually how this is happening. They're actually wrapping around this side and taking on the few tanks they have back here, both from above and from the side. Meanwhile, this push with the Rhinoceronte and this 4005 we never really pushed kind of amounted to a lot of nothing because they didn't get very aggressive over there. Frankly, if the Rhinoceronte had pushed in, we might be in some pretty significant trouble, although there is a Sturv sitting there as well, backing up the Badger right there. So it didn't look like he felt, the Rhinoceronte, it didn't look like he felt he had enough horsepower to kind of make that push. So he's just sitting back there. The good news is he's got no shots, right? He might have a shot on the Badger if he pushed in, but there's nobody sitting on this ramp right here. Now that's why that spot's so good over in that corner, is if you still have the peekaboom thing going on the ramp, then you can shoot him in the back all day. But right now, we have a different situation here, dude. I mean, really, you almost want to see that Rhinoceronte move back and fall back and try to start taking on these guys that are wrapping around. Good news for us is he does not do that. I'm checking 6 every once in a while because I don't want that object 780 to get up behind us and start causing issues. Although we do have the 279 early up here, so that's probably dissuading him a little bit. And then all of a sudden our LT100 our T100 LT bails out, and then our EBR looks like he wants to go in and finish off their EBR. So he's at least keeping them busy. All right, so the Rhinoceronte did sort of fall back. He's not in the corner. Clearly no shot, so it looks like he went over there trying to find a way to get out of that thing. Down goes their EBR. That's a big deal. And then our 279 early starts pushing in. So I'm going to come back him up. They've done a nice job on the other side over here on the north side. The AMX-50B has fallen back somewhere. We have 2 guys stacked up right here. And we've got a 4005 over on the island. So things to think about here. Obviously the Rhinoceronte is kind of pinned down. I'd hate to see him get in a position to get shots. But he isn't right now. We have the 116 F3 and the 780. The 4005 is probably still over on the island somewhere, or worse yet, he somehow got back here. I doubt it because we've been all over the place over here and we would have seen him. So I'm imagining he's still on the island right here. Turns out he is because, you know, I was in the game. But these are the 2 dudes lit. So we've got a potential autoloader sitting back here ready for somebody to poke and do something silly, and we have a 4005 waiting for the same thing. So we got to be a bit careful how we take these guys on right here, and that leaves us a Progetto, which has yet to be spotted. So another autoloader probably backing these guys up. There goes an artillery into them. I want to try not to get proxy lit until I can get in here and get a shot. Now I've got pretty good hydraulic assist here, so we'll come in and we'll put a nice shot into the back of the 116 F3. Then I'm like, all right, reload because I want to kill this 780. I'll just take that hit. That's fine. Didn't kind of realize I was actually being hit by the Object AMX 50B, and to some extent got very lucky there in terms of I bounced a couple shots. So I helped break that down a little bit, but also got lucky that they didn't kill me. And I kind of knew that Progetto was back there somewhere unspotted, but I thought it a better idea to try to break these dudes down. I think maybe getting the one shot and then backing out might have been about as good as you could do, but got away with it. I'll take it. So clearly something is still around there. The 79 early just goes pushing in on him. And now where are we with our little chess match here? Well, we've given ourselves a slight advantage in tanks, although in theory we're still down in hit points. This Rhinoceronte is a problem, right? We need him gone because he's anchoring that corner, and then we got the 4005, and then we got a couple guys camping back here. So they don't have a lot of great crossfire with each other, but it's not bad. It's a lot of open ground here for us to get near any one of them, and they're all hidden by bushes in here. Also, we've got a lot of guys that are down. The 54, M454 is a one-shot. The UDES 1516 is a one-shot. Obviously, a Sturv is not very assault-like, although it can drop some serious pain. And it does have speed, so it can get into positions late game if you have an aggressive player. But, you know, Sturv's not easy to do that with. So we've got to figure out how we're going to break this thing down. First things first, I have some lights on this Rhinoceronte, so let's see if we can put some shots on him. That goes right into the dirt. Not really a fantastic reload on this thing. It's not exactly a DPM machine. So he heads over that way. I'm going to reposition a bit. A little bit leery about what the 4005 is doing. Then we find him right there. The 100 LT, I'm very surprised he's not picking up the 4005, and I assume the Progetto's over there too. Turns out he is. But I did get hit from that direction. Now the Rhinoceronte is doing something a little bit silly. Not really sure why he thinks he wants to push back into the back corner there. If he can get back there, that would be a great spot for him. Really, I should have backed up and taken one more shot. My concern was getting lit and then getting shot in the side over there. But there you go. These guys are doing a nice job on him, so I'll just reposition to here where I actually have shots. APCR goes in. That's great. I'm going to go with the heat here, get a little bit more pen, although there's a lot of angles on that armor. And we'll just wait. We'll shoot it right there, and down he goes. All right, so we've cleared the Rhinoceronte out. What does that leave us now? Chess match-wise, 50B's probably back here. That's where the shots were coming from. I'm imagining he's hiding behind this rock, and there's a little bush there. 4005 is here, and I imagine the Progetto is somewhere in that area as well. We just have so much vision that there's really no way they're going to cross either to the south or to the north. So I think they're kind of all pinned down in the same spots they were in earlier. We have a huge advantage with the 100 LT. This is where, in theory, my vision should come in to help a little bit. Unfortunately, the Sturv got aggressive and got absolutely nuked. So he was seen trying to push in there. I don't know if he fired or, to be honest, I don't know how he was seen. That's fascinating. I don't know if he fired and tried to get away or what happened, but he was absolutely seen and taken down. So I'm going to come up in here. Bit dangerous. If I'd have been seen, I could have got nuked. Didn't get seen. I think they're actually behind the rocks right now. That's probably the only reason I'm not being seen by the Progetto, poking my nose in there. Now I'm noticing the 100 LT. All right, so you got to take advantage of these kinds of things. I don't know if that's a great idea. I was kind of expecting him to just blow up from a shot from the Progetto and the 4005 at one time, but I think they're not poking the bushes. You know why? Because we have a 100 LT. So those are some of the things to think about. They're kind of hunkered down because they know if they go out in one of those bushes, they're worried about the same thing I was just talking about. They poke out, 100 LT sees them immediately, and then they disintegrate from all the shots. So he actually takes advantage of that, and that might have been what was in his mind. If it was, good on him. All right, so I was sort of waiting for him to do that, but as suspected, they're behind the rocks, and I don't really have shots. So I've got to think about this. This is not a great idea right here. I can sit here for a while. Maybe the 100 LT makes a couple dumb pokes, loses all his hit points, and dies. And then where are we? I'm going to wait for it for just a potato. Our object 279 early has some hit points, but I don't think even an object 279 early needs to push across that open area with a 4005, a Progetto, and a 50B. That's still a lot of firepower. If you look at it, they got a bunch more firepower than we do, at least in a burst. I'm going to try to reposition, and I noticed the Progetto just at that moment exposes himself, and that was a bummer. If I'd have still been there, I probably would have got a shot, but we're going to take the time here to change the angle. What I want to do now, and I'm really kind of hoping I don't get spotted here, notice I'm dancing at the edge of the view range circle right here. Right? I want to try to keep them as far away from me as possible. So we'll go all the way around this way. I'm not going to cut any corners. As long as the 100 LT is smart and doesn't get dead, and I'm hoping he's watching what I'm doing, he'll know that I'm coming around this way. Now I am going to get spotted here, and there will be a shot that comes in. This is the most dangerous piece, right? Well inside the spotting circle, the Progetto sees me. The 4005 is behind the rock, and I get away just... I think he might even fire at me right here. Nope. Progetto got seen, so that's actually good. And now we'll come up here, we'll go hold down, and we'll see if we can mess with the 4005 just a little bit, get some spotting. All right, these are now in crossfire, right? We've got me over here. If they want to push or try to get the 100, they got the 279 sitting there. Really, the 50B is a little bit isolated and kind of out of the fight right here. Unless he breaks cover and tries to push in to take the 279 or maybe get some sniper shots, potentially on the M454, which is still sitting back here. I don't think he can move, because I think if he moves across this open area, he gets seen by the 50B, as well as potentially shot, depending on the openings that you've got there. Notice the 279 early has moved up to another opening, so now we've got a decent crossfire. At least I have shots, so we can just come up here and go, hi, how you doing? Put a shot into him. Now don't go poking up there immediately. Notice he's moving around. Okay, so right there, chess match-wise, the 4005 kind of knows the jig is up and decides to just push the 100 LT and see what he can do to him. That's fantastic. Exactly what I would want him to do. Of the many mistakes I would want him to do, that's one of them. So we'll just come over here. I want to make sure we finish off this guy. I'm messing around trying to get an auto aim. Didn't work. Now the Progetto takes advantage of the 4005 going in, and unfortunately, the 4005 didn't get a shot, so Progetto's probably like, ah, bummer. So he gets hit, he gets tracked, takes some shots in there. He doesn't even get to kill the poor 100 LT, and we'll just nuke that guy. And that is pretty much all she wrote. We got 3,500 damage and 45, 2,149 assist. And that's just the whole thought process from start to finish. The hill's a crapshoot, my friends. I mean, there can be a major advantage if you can get up there without losing a bunch of hit points. Or even if you get up there, say 4v2 and take out a couple of their tanks and don't lose a bunch of yours. At the same time, you can go up there and get absolutely annihilated trying to get there, especially with a relatively slow medium like this thing. Nice thing about this thing is it's low slung, so potentially you could cause some misses just because you're not a very tall tank going up the hill. I think going up the hill is much easier from the south than it is from the north, so there's a bit of an advantage there as well, but it's a bit of a crapshoot. If you're not going to do it, then that initial position is a pretty good one, but you've got to continually assess right there. Only part of the map I really didn't use was the east side. I had no real reason to go over there. Our team won it, and all the bad action was happening over on the west side that I was trying to help out with over there. Once we took the hill and kind of cleared out the threat of them coming up on the ramp right there, and we were putting pressure on them from the northeast side, I was then able to come back down, get up to the hill immediately. Get up to the hill, kind of do some sniper stuff, clear out this problem down here in the southwest, and then eventually move back and around for some crossfire on their campers in there, which pretty good position. And really, we could have sat there for a long time, us up on this ridge and them on this ridge, and not got a whole lot done. So somebody needed to cause a crossfire or do something different. So I took a bit of a chance crossing over there, able to get into that position, and then force the issue. All right, there you go. A little bit of a chess match on a very small map that probably shouldn't have tier 10s on it. It's a lot like fighting in a phone booth, but there you have it. That's all I've got for today. We will see ya.